Hello! Our first video in our self-care summer series. I am so excited to start off with a conversation of self-love because self-care is awesome and we're gonna have a great self-care summer. It all starts with self-love. The only reason why you would ever take care of yourself stems from the fact that you love yourself. When you love yourself, then you'll take the time out of your day to nurture your body, your mind, your soul, and you will focus on yourself. You will set boundaries that are needed for yourself. You will allow yourself to experience the things that fulfill you. You will indulge yourself in a self-care activity because you care about yourself. Let's take a second before I dive into all of my experiences and what I do now to practice self-love and to learn how to love myself more, and grab yourself a cup of tea and get cozy. And I want this video to feel like a really big hug, so I want you to feel really comfy and cozy while we chat because I'm feeling very comfy and cozy. So I want us to feel that together. Learning self-love has completely changed my life. I did a lot of things when I was younger, mostly, that were because I gave myself a lot of negative self-talk. I also didn't love myself enough to allow myself to experience the things that I deserved. So I would allow myself to be part of toxic relationships. I wouldn't set boundaries for myself. I would overanalyze myself in many conversations to the point where, like, after I would be at dinner or lunch with somebody, I would overanalyze everything that I said and I would think that I said the most ridiculous things. And I've finally reached a point in my life where I feel inner peace. And that's like the coolest feeling in the world. And I am not perfect at this every single day at all. Like, there are definitely times where I'm like giving myself negative self-talk or I do overanalyze something that I said. So I'm not perfect at it every day, but for the majority of my life, I'm like if I look at it as a whole on a daily basis, I'm like, yo, like I think I like found it because I literally don't care anymore. Like, one, what people think of me, two, about being caught up in toxic relationships. Like, I'm so good at being like, nah, and nicely just kind of being like, I don't need you in my life. But that's because I found the love within myself, right? Because I'm like, okay, I love myself enough to not put myself through these things. I also suppressed myself a lot before I was able to love myself enough. I didn't put myself out on the internet for years of dreaming it up because I was like, oh my God, people are gonna think I'm so weird. What are people gonna think of me? Why do I think I should put a video on the internet? What do I have to say that people want to hear? I didn't even have full self-love the first time that I put myself on the internet, but I developed it over time. You don't have to be in a perfect place to do the things that you want to do. And I think that that's really important. I think that you need to know that if there's something in life that you want to do, but you don't feel a tremendous amount of self-love and confidence, and that's okay. Like, that's the time to seek out scary things that are completely out of your comfort zone, because through those experiences you will learn things. There will be hard times. There will be good times. There will be many different experiences that you have, but putting yourself out there and also just doing things that you wouldn't normally do, whether it be like you're wanting to travel, you want to go study abroad, but you're scared, you don't know, like, are you going to make friends? Are you going to be lonely? What are all these things? Like, I'm not just talking about uploading a video to the internet, because this goes in every single direction. If you want to start a business, if you want to travel the world, if you want to try out for a soccer team, whatever it might be, like, It's so easy to not do those things because you think you're not worthy of taking up space, or you're not worthy of, you don't have anything to give, you don't have anything to say. And that's not true at all, because you are so unique. You are the only you in this world. There is something that you offer that nobody else has. The connection that you can have with another human being, or with a specific career, or anything, you are the only person that can have that connection. You are the only person that will make that mark in the world. So when people feel like they're not worthy of specific experiences, and they're not worthy of tackling and going after their dreams, that is one of the hardest things for me to ever hear, because that is what makes life. And I'm going down a direction right now in this conversation that's like more of like a motivation to go after your dreams, but that all stems from self-love, because you love yourself more when you're allowing yourself to experience your passions, because experiencing your passions can be really scary at first. But if you really push yourself, then you're going to find love within yourself. And I'm going to get into actual steps that you can take to experience more self-love, but I think that having this conversation first about like my experiences, what it feels like, how it can actually change your life, is a good way to just inspire you to seek out loving yourself more and falling more in love with yourself. Self-love determines your life path. So how you feel about yourself is such a reflection about the people that you allow in your life. It's a reflection on what you allow yourself to do and experience. So it's so important. It determines your mate. It determines the person you're going to spend your life with, or the person that you're just spending your life with right then. It determines whether or not you achieve your dreams, because it is a reflection of whether or not you think you deserve it, whether or not you think you deserve to live the life that you dreamed up, whether or not you think that you deserve to be in a good relationship with somebody who values you. Self-love determines your strength. It determines your boundaries, the things that you say like, actually, no, that's not okay. You can't do that. You can't do that to me. I love myself enough to say no, to put boundaries up. I think this is a good time to talk about the actual tools and the things that you can actually do to learn to love yourself more. Because I can sit here all day and tell you exactly how it makes me feel, how it can change your life, how it's changed my life. And those things are all good to talk about. But also I want to give you guys something that you can take away so that you can learn to fall in love with yourself more, and you can learn that you're worth it. So first and foremost, protect yourself. Love yourself enough to protect yourself. And protection is part of boundaries as well. So if there is somebody in your life that is not treating you right, protect yourself from that person. Put up boundaries that are needed to protect yourself from that person, whether it be family, friends, a romantic relationship. Think about the people in your life and think about, is this person bringing happiness to my life, or are they toxic? And really think about those kind of things, because it's easy to blame yourself and to put blame on yourself a lot and to think that you are the reasoning behind them being angry with you all of the time. So really evaluating the protection that you have on your heart is really important. Remember to forgive yourself. If there's anything in your life that you think about where you kind of give yourself negative self-talk, where you're like, I can't believe that I did that, a mistake that you made of some sort, or irrational things a lot of the time. Like, we have irrational thoughts all the time as human beings, where we think things are our fault when they're not. and we replay situations in our mind over and over and over again. And we just need to let those things go. We need to forgive ourselves if we really think we made some sort of mistake, or if we really think something is our fault. If we did something wrong in a friendship or a romantic relationship or in a family relationship, learn to forgive yourself. And if you really felt like you did something wrong, maybe tell that person what that was, and that you're sorry, and to stop beating yourself up about it, because that is the number one reason why it is hard for people to find self-love, is because they're mad at themselves. You can't love yourself when you're mad at yourself about something. So learn to forgive yourself. And lastly, I think a really important thing is to live intentionally. Live out your life with good intentions, and try to be the best version of yourself as much as you can. Something that I've been really loving doing recently, that I actually posted on my Instagram, a caption that said, I'm trying to do every single day something that makes me a better person. And I mentioned this, I think, in my Organize Your Life video, but I am going into every single day recently with the intention of, I'm going to do something today, even if it's the smallest thing. I'm going to do something today that makes me a better person. Even if that's just cleaning out the trunk of my car. Even if that is calling a family member I haven't spoken to for a bit. Because through that, you heal and you come together and you become a complete human being. You have to seek out a purpose. You have to find your purpose and seek it out and go for it, and give yourself some slack sometimes, because we're not always perfect, and we don't need to be living life thinking like, I need to be the best version of myself all of the time, because it's just not the way life is. We're not always in the moment of feeling clear and like mindful and like perfect in these moments. It's just not realistic. But if we do set an intention for our life and for our everyday, it's incredible what type of changes you can make in your life. If you just have a good intention, if you just have a purpose, and if you just know how you want to make people feel, and if you know how you want to make yourself feel, keep that focus. And if you stray away from it sometimes, that's okay. And say, okay, I know what my focus and I know that I have good intentions, and I know my purpose in life, and when I say purpose in life, I don't mean like you need to know exactly what you want to do with your life. When I say purpose right now, I'm talking about knowing that you want to live a good life and you want to be the best version of yourself. Even if you take the smallest baby steps, as long as you're doing one thing every day that makes you feel like a better person or makes you feel just good, you are going to get there. You are going to get to a point where you're all of a sudden just like, ooh, this feels good. I have all of these little things that I've done over the last year or 6 months or month have really come together to make me feel at ease. And that's where I'm at in my life right now. And it feels freaking good. Like, I will tell you guys right now, like, inner peace and like tranquility and like a clear understanding of the way you want to live your life is awesome. It's the best feeling. And I want everyone to feel it, and I want to experience it with you guys, and I want to be there when things aren't always going great, because they're not always going to be going great, and that's okay. And my life isn't always going great, but if I go into every day thinking, okay, I'm gonna live this moment, even though it's a hard moment, I'm gonna try my best to live through this moment with the best intentions that I possibly can, then it's so much easier to get through. Because you're just like, okay, this is it. Like, this is a hard moment, but like, let's go through it. Let's get through it. And that's the most important thing. Living with good intentions. Self-love isn't something that comes naturally to all people. And that's okay. We live in a world where we're constantly looking at things that we're comparing ourselves to. but it is something that you can practice and you can achieve when you teach your mind to go to positive self-talk instead of negative self-talk. Because our minds just kind of fall into what they're used to. Like, our minds can just kind of go, okay, well, I know what this feels like, so I'm just going to go here all of the time because that's easy. Because my mind always goes there. But if we teach our minds, and this is something that you can really practice through meditation, and meditation is something I'm going to talk about in this series. But once you can get your mind to go to a good place and fall into a good place as opposed to a negative place, then things become easier because our minds are based off of muscle memory. Memories. We react to memories. If our mind starts to remember what it feels like to sit in a like comfy, like positive place, and if our minds learn what it feels like to be mindful, then our minds have an easier way at like getting back into that spot because it's the memory that it's going based off of. So I'll talk about meditation and mindfulness more in the series. This video is specifically about how self-love can change your life, but all of these things, as you will begin to notice and that you probably already know, go very hand in hand with each other. All of them overlap and they are all needed. Every part of self-love and self-care, it's all within the balance, and it's balance that you create, not balance that you find. You have the opportunity to create this life for you, yourself. You are the person who makes the decisions on how your life is going to go, how it's going to feel. I'm going to end the conversation there. I also wanted to mention I never want to sound preachy at all to you guys. I am just literally pouring out what is inside my heart and my mind that I want to share with you guys. I have never been somebody who was super passionate about like math or science or like literally anything but seeking out how to make life easier and better and feel good. So this is something that I'm really passionate about, and that's why I can sit here and just like spill it all out to you guys. So I hope that you guys like it, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this, and I'm so excited because I get to see you guys in a day. So that's awesome. For this video, I want to leave you guys with a question. I want to know what your biggest passions in life are. And I'm excited to read these comments because one of my favorite things in the world is seeing or hearing people talk about the things that they love in life. So I want to know what makes you happy, what gets you going, what like you just light up about. I want to know what that is. So please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys very soon in the next self-care summer. I just like hit my face instead of kissing you guys. Like, what was that? That's what I meant to do. Okay, bye. I'm such a dork. Bye. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go sleep now. Deep breaths after all of that long conversation. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go, do you guys want to do it with me? Let's do it together. It feels so good. Like, things just got weird, but also so good. Okay, bye.